what's up everyone? Passage JAMZ here back with another review. And before I get started, just wanted to give a quick mention that yes, I do sound louder. I should sound louder at least. Messing again with the interface, just turning up the volume, seeing how it goes, still tweaking here and there. Let me know if you like it down in the comments below or message me on Instagram. Anyways, getting on to the review, we have a collab album, the latest dynamic duo of this year, Future and Metro Boomin. Their latest album, We Don't Trust You, just came out this past Friday on March 22nd. And, 40-year-old Future from Atlanta, Georgia, rapper, singer-songwriter, and then 30-year-old Metro Boomin from St. Louis, Missouri. This isn't our first duo of this year, but it is the latest. And like I said, they came out with this collab album, We Don't Trust You, and their next album comes out in a couple weeks on April 12th. So we're looking at 16 tracks here, 57 minutes. I know there's 17 there's released, but there's a bonus track. And I don't if you're new to my content or don't remember, I don't do bonus tracks. I don't do deluxe albums. I like to keep it simple and review the original art released by the artist or the band. It's really rare, and I know it's funny and it's stereotypical hypocritical that I'm saying that because the Weeknd After Hours Deluxe Edition did win Album of the Year in 2020, but it's really rare when that happens. Okay. Anyways, moving on and diving into the album, Metro Boomin, he takes the cake from the whole thing. He carries everything, and I don't take that with a grain of salt and don't jump right out of your seat right away, because I mean that's how it is in all rap albums or the sound of music in general. The production, if it sounds like shit, you're not really gonna be so intrigued. I mean, yes, it does matter what the lyrics are, and it's just as important as lead vocalists to show off their high pitched notes or maybe their great rap flow or whatever. But in terms of the majority and chunk of it all, you are here to listen to the amazing production, whether it's whatever genre of music, really. But yeah, Metro Boomin here does carry the duo out of both of them, and not saying anything like that Future's bad or whatever. I just think that in terms of his music over the course of my years of listening to him and him releasing work, uh, I just he tends to kind of give into these tacky cliches and trends sometimes, but I do think he has instances and moments where he can have shown and proved that he himself can be a really great artist and rapper. Um, but in terms of like production, there are hard hitting tracks, and I think it's really interesting to notion here that I'm not really gonna be talking about like that track number 6 featuring Kendrick Lamar because I have a whole video dedicated to that. But I will say this: it's the best track on the whole album, and I'm not saying that just because of the diss. It really is. I mean, the whole shebang in terms of Kendrick's verse, even Future having that great chemistry and verses with Kendrick, and even the production. The production is easily the best, if not top three, of the out of the whole album. And putting that all together, it's the best track. So, I know Metro Boomin, he's just a producer and he doesn't rap or anything like that, but he does get his message across with his production. Uh, you know, I'm not saying this is necessarily a Drake diss album, but the whole album does revolve around, snakes in the grass, um, backstabbing friends or people who you thought were your friends and stuff like that, who you can't trust, who you can, kind of writing solo now. Gotta keep your enemies closer and your friends more distant, stuff like that. The metaphors and shit, speak for themselves. And he does get his point across with his production. I think that's really amazing and quite talented, honestly, that he can do that without even saying anything. And of course, there are, Future does come through with like his own bars of trying to uh, explain what I just said, and snake in the grass, these little shades thrown at Drake or whoever else he's talking about, really, in the industry and stuff like that. Easily, Magic Don Juan and Ice Attack are one of the hardest tracks on this thing. I really don't know what the whole deal is with type shit featuring Travis Scott and Playboy Cardi. The production is amazing, and people were saying that's the best track on this thing. I just thought it was. I mean, it's good. It's like a 7. You know, it's there, and I'm not saying it's the most amazing track on here, but I'm not saying it's the worst either, or even saying that it's okay. It's good, but I do see that that's the track that everyone's really pointing to, and I'm guessing because of Playboy Cardi, even though he kind of does copy Future's flow, right at like 100%. So I don't really know what that's all about. But in terms of features, don't get me wrong. I thought Cardi's verse was okay, but other features are utilized quite well, even if they're not really the main spotlight of the, or even have their own spotlight in the track itself. Like for example, Travis Scott, like I said on Type Shit, he just provides harmonic vocals and kind of keeps the transition going where Playboy Cardi comes out. I think that's great. Even on Young Metro, track number 2 featuring The Weeknd, again, the Weeknd just provides vocals, not really saying anything or much at all. But I think those are great ways to utilize artists that way because they weren't even mentioned as features at first. It was just the algorithm of Spotify and Apple Music that put them there, but they weren't necessarily going to be named outright. There, and I appreciate that from Future and Metro Boomin. And they're not saying like it's a waste of a feature like most people are saying. They just weren't really planned for big parts, just for little, little bite-sized pieces here and there to help the track, give it that little boost. But there are utilized features on here, like track number 9, Travis Scott comes out again on Cinderella. And honestly, it was really nice to hear Rick Ross on track number 13, Everyday Hustle. The great and amazing chemistry between him and Future. And like I said, easily hands down, Kendrick Lamar on the track like that is the best feature on here. But, there's, nice surprises throughout the album that I quite enjoyed. And no disrespect to Future, but there are moments on here where things do fall flat. And even with Metro Boomin, which was quite the shocker, considering that I claim him as easily top 3 producers right now in the rap industry and hip hop music. Claustrophobic and Fried are easily the worst tracks on here. Even on Claustrophobic, Metro Boomin comes through with like this generic ass tone, these generic pianos and keys, and just it's the instrumental and production is nothing that I care for really. Fried Metro Future, sorry. His whole thing is whack. His whole verse, his whole flow, pretty whack, pretty strange as well, and a little cringe. Even Seen It All has a really generic ass trap beat as well from Metro Boomin, which was a little disappointing. I know, I mean, it's 16 tracks, but trim the fat, you have 2 albums, 2 collab albums coming out within a span of a month. Trim the fat. This could have been amazing and, really one of the, if not the best album of the year so far. Just, it's very bloated. Take out these generic ass beats and the generic ass songs with Future's not his best work on the songs. Just take it out. And then I'll even say Running Out of Time. I didn't really care for that track either. Not saying it's the worst out of the 2 that I mentioned, but certainly I don't really care about Future when he does like his more emotional, lovey-dovey, in his feelings type tracks. Take it as you will, but it's not for me. Anyways, just wrapping things up here. I think it was pretty solid in terms of the album and the duo of Future and Metro Boomin. And I'm going to go with a solid 7.5 out of 10. I mean, it's a good album and it had potential to be great if there were tweaks made here and there. Certainly mistakes that shouldn't be made between 2 artists who are at this level in their career. And I mean, only time will tell about the second album coming out. But, 7.5 out of 10, that's not bad at all. It's a great album, good album, but certainly flaws in the album. Anyways, that is a review. Let me know what you all think. Link in the description below to check out my awesome jams and sour jams. I know people are so quick to say, like, oh, you didn't like this or like that. Check out the description. I link my favorite songs and my least favorite songs, and I even link the album below so you can check it out. Let me know what you all think. Hopefully you all are looking forward to the next review. Pass the jams out.